Welcome to a special edition of the Tyler's Place podcast. I'm your host, Maynard Edwards. The regular Tyler's Place podcast, we're going to delay by a day so that we can get you guys to tune in to this special edition show. And unfortunately, we find ourselves in the position again of talking to brothers who have been affected by devastating storms. And in this case, we're talking about our brothers along the panhandle of Florida and having had to deal with Hurricane Michael, which they're calling now one of the top 3 worst hurricanes of all time to hit the United States. And there's been severe damage all along the panhandle, and we actually have a Scottish Rite Valley, the Valley of Panama City there. And joining me now, he's actually made it out of town. He's in Atlanta. Safe is the General Secretary of the Valley of Panama City. That's Brother Sam Fisher. Sam, give us your thoughts on the overall state of things at this point.
Well, it was, I've been through Eloise, and I've been through Opal, and they were, pretty bad, but it was such that things could be recovered pretty quickly. There was damage here and there, but this was a whole nother level because the damage is just everywhere. My personal home, all of Panama City has pretty severe damage, and so there's no, of course, cell service. Starting to get a little bit back now, but it's 3 days with basically no communication and damage everywhere you look, from severe building to trees and everything. So it's going to be a long recovery.
First things first, I know before we started recording that you had said you are in Atlanta. You and your family, everyone is safe. Everyone escaped without any significant injury.
My wife and I left yesterday because my house is unlivable, and I had done everything I could do. I went to the Scottish Rite building and did what I could do there. And so right now there wasn't anything else I could do. We had already had a trip planned, so I've left town for a week. Hopefully there will be some spots with power when I get back, so we're safe. I have not heard of any brothers that had any injuries. As far as the ones I've been able to talk to are safe. But everyone I've talked to has had some kind of damage, from a hole in the roof to trees down, big trees down, to like my house was, losing half a roof. So it's we've got a lot of brothers that have problems, and it's going to take a long time to get it repaired and back going again. You say that you lost your roof. Are you talking about the actual roof itself, or you lost all the shingles? No, a lot of people say, their roof's missing, and they're talking about shingles. My particular house, I'm talking about, I have a new indoor swimming pool, and I have new skylights over all my bedrooms. So you look out any of my 3 bedrooms, and all you see is sky above.
Wow. Where did you guys ride out the storm? This sounds incredibly dangerous.
Well, we were in the house. At one point, my wife and sister-in-law were in the hallway by the bedrooms, because that's kind of an interior location. And we decided, the roof started going, and so they decided to get to maybe we should go to the other end of the house. And shortly after they left the hallway, the sheetrock and everything came down in the hallway. So it's a good thing we moved. And so we basically were in the only room of the house that didn't really have damage was the kitchen, and so we were in the kitchen dining area, and we were all right there.
You guys are genuinely lucky to be alive after that kind of ordeal.
Well, like I say, I've been through a couple of other major hurricanes that I was never scared in. Matter of fact, I had a little video where I was taking a picture of this clubhouse that's been in the ground behind my house for 20-something years since my son was small, and you can hear my voice on it because it was starting to pull up out of the ground, and you can hear my voice in the background saying, 15 minutes ago, I thought we were safe. So at that point, we were getting pretty worried.
Well, I'm certainly grateful to be able to have this conversation with you, and we're so glad that you guys made it out safe. That sounds like an absolutely terrifying ordeal, and I'm so sorry you guys have had to live through it. But it looks like we've lost some property, but the people are safe, and that's the important thing. Looking at the Scottish Rite facility there in Panama City, what is the situation there?
Okay, our building is about 6,000 square foot. It was built opened up in 1980, I believe it was, and so it's not one of the older type, fancy buildings. It's a one-story block wall building, no windows or anything. So the structure itself looks good. But we already had some roof problems we were dealing with, and we were already contracting for a new roof. Now, I don't know whether it's good or bad news, because if we would have got the new roof on before, we might have lost it. But since we had the leaking roof on, it leaked a lot worse. So we do have the lodge room carpet is all soaking wet. Most of the furniture's okay. We got it up and out of the way. We had water in different places, mostly throughout the building, but it's mopped up. No real, other than the roof, I don't see any structural damage. But we did have a nice sized lot with a lot of beautiful oak trees that have been there forever, and they're all down pretty much. So some fencing and things, but I think once we get the carpet out of there and get the new roof on, that we will be able to be back in business.
Before we started taping, you were saying that FEMA was planning on using a portion of the Scottish Rite facility as a staging area. Can you give us a little bit of detail on exactly what their plan is?
They have just asked about using that for a feeding location. The outside, what they want to do is set up so that it's an area, where it's a residential area where we're in. So they're talking about setting up a feeding station there.
Obviously, without electricity, people can't prepare food, and more importantly, they can't store food properly to be able to kind of handle that on their own.
Right. They say that in Panama City proper, which is where the Scottish Rite building is, we have a lot of little towns around, and on the Panama City beach side, they're getting power back now, but I've been told that Panama City proper, Lynn Haven, Callaway, those areas may not have power for more than 2 months, because they're going to have to rebuild the entire grid system. It's gone.
I'm guessing that given the problems with infrastructure and electricity, it's got to be really tough to communicate with anybody that's in or around where this storm hit.
I had no communication the 3 days I was there. In the old days, we'd pick up our landline, and they still worked after a storm, it seemed like. But with cell, when you lose the cell system like it did, there were a couple of companies that some people still had. Matter of fact, that's how we got word out to our family that we were alive, is that somebody had a AT&T cell phone, and it worked. So there hasn't been a lot of communication. So until I left town yesterday, I had not really talked to a lot of people. So I'm just now getting communication with some of the brothers, finding out how they are, getting calls to them. I also sent out a mass email to our membership and asking them to respond to me. So I'm just starting to get responses back to find out how they are. Most of them just have said, I don't really need assistance right now, but we will have those that do, but most of them are they're taking it on their own. They're just trying to get themselves fixed the best they can on their own right now, and saying they're happy to be alive, and they're doing okay. But like I say, there's a lot of damage, and a lot of brothers are going to have severe problems.
Well, Sam, I'm so glad that you and your family are safe and that you guys made it through this ordeal in one piece. And I'm glad to hear that the damage to the Scottish Rite facility is manageable. And I'm certainly going to keep you guys in our prayers moving forward. Guys who are listening, I know you want to do something. I know Scottish Rite Masons well enough to know that you want to pitch in where you can. First and foremost, prayers are always welcome to those guys. Secondly, if you have contact or have been in contact with any of our brothers who are in the affected area, and you know that they are safe, or you know that something is going on with them, if you would be kind enough to drop us an email so we can kind of keep an eye on some of that as well. The email address you'll want to use is membership@scottishrite.org, or you can email me direct at podcast@scottishrite.org. If you've got any information about brothers in those areas who've been affected, anything is helpful. It's just good when communication is limited like this to use any resource we have. So podcast@scottishrite.org or membership@scottishrite.org if you have information about guys in those areas. In terms of sending money, is obviously that's what they're going to need in order to solve the problem, is they need resources. So sending money is actually pretty simple. Go to scottishrite.org. In the upper right-hand corner of the website, you'll see a button marked Donate. Click on that, and that will take you to the next screen, and you'll see something that says Disaster Relief. Click on that, and you can donate right there, and those monies will go to assist our brothers in the affected areas. Once again, you go to scottishrite.org. In the upper right-hand corner, click the link marked Donate, and then follow that link to Disaster Relief, and you can donate there through the website. It is safe. It is secure. You can do it right now, and I hope that you will take a few minutes and do that. Brother Sam and all of our brothers in the Panama City area, the whole panhandle of Florida, really, especially those in the devastated Mexico City beach area. We're thinking about you guys if you're listening. And again, let us know how everyone is doing. Podcast@scottishrite.org. The regular Tyler's Place podcast will be out in the next day or so. Just want to give everybody time to really dial in and digest this, because it's a severe issue again. And I just wish these were stories that we did not have to tell, but I'm blessed to be able to have the vehicle to do so here on the Tyler's Place podcast. So we'll catch you next time. Once again, don't forget, go donate now if you can. Even a few dollars is helpful. scottishrite.org, and in the upper right-hand corner, click the donate button and follow that to Disaster Relief. I'm Maynard Edwards. I'll catch you next time right here on the Tyler's Place.